Oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, the wonderful Nicky Urban.
Hello.
You just smack yourself in the face.
Yep. I'm so upset about the movie today that I'm like just self-harming.
This is a very, very bad movie that you've chosen to talk about today. So I hope you don't self-harm anymore during the show.
No.
This is a rough one. This is an X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh. The movie that was so bad that they canceled the rest of the X-Men Origins potential franchise.
Thank God. It was so bad. I would not call myself an uber fan of X-Men.
Okay.
But if there was any sort of property, like superhero property, that's probably the one that I was introduced with and connected with the most. But even still, I think regardless of if I was a super fan or not a fan, I think everybody was angry, right?
Yeah. I remember seeing this in theaters, and I was not really a fan of the X-Men franchise. I'd seen X3. I hadn't seen the others. I hadn't seen any of the... I wasn't like a super duper big fan. I've never been a big comic book guy either. But I remember watching this in theaters, and wait a minute. Hold on. I don't remember if I saw this or if I saw the Wolverine. They're both bad.
Wait, which one's the Wolverine?
The Wolverine's the one yep. I had never seen this until he brought it up to me to watch.
Oh.
And I had that's how fucking dumb and interchangeable these movies are. Was for years
Wait,
I
actually,
thought
the Wolverine wasn't that bad, was
Wolverine
it?
is pretty bad. Wolverine's
Okay.
him in Japan fighting samurais.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty bad. There were
this
some touching moments in it and good acting. I feel like this one was just other than Hugh
Jackman.
Thank you.
Hugh
I was like, Hugh Hefner.
Hugh
Grant.
Hugh Laurie.
All the Hughes.
All
Okay.
of our alternate reality Wolverines. There's definitely some multiverse action going
I
on.
want to see a Hugh Grant Wolverine so
I think
bad.
a bumbling, just very, very British.
Shit.
Snick.
Yes, I said shtick.
That's what his version of it is he's got his shtick.
God damn it.
I'm so sorry. I've got my adamantium is all out of I imagine there's a lot of lip smacking.
He doesn't talk like that at all, but everybody is like, no.
I'm so going to look at tea. This movie's still bad, and I watched it, and I had this. Basically, I was so ready to come in and have this reaction with you, which is true. I mean, it's still truthful because I watched this movie this morning before you came over to record, and the same thing happened to me that happened when I saw The Wolverine in theaters, which was I fell asleep. I drank a Red Bull this morning. I woke up at 8:00 and drank a Red Bull so I could watch this movie, and I still fell asleep through the Red Bull. That's how bad this movie is. It took away Wolverine, cut off the wings that Red Bull gave me.
I saw this when it came out in theaters, and I was actually here. I was here in Los Angeles on vacation. It was like a scouting trip before I was decided okay, I'm definitely gonna move here and where I'm gonna live. And it was a year before I moved here, and my friend had worked at the Regal in Calabasas, where all the celebrities go to with their families.
Fancy theaters.
Yeah, like Ozzy Osbourne. So he got us all in
the
free.
Kardashians.
Yep. So excited to go. I was so excited because I was like, yeah, hell yeah. It was before superhero movies were fucking everywhere. This was 2009. I mean, it was just starting, but it was still exciting.
Right.
You know?
It didn't feel like the bombardment of superhero movies had really begun. And I don't
Right.
think it had, because I know, X-Men had finished. The X3 had just come out maybe 2 years prior. We hadn't really dealt with any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. We had Spider-Man, but superheroes were still pretty... Superheroes are still pretty... Sorry, for those of you who are not watching that video, my cat Edgar is getting very friendly with Nicky right now.
Oh my God.
This is the downside to having Edgar be a guest on the podcast, is that he comes in and his lovable attitude will deter all of your hate for a movie.
Because you can't get angry. This cat is so cute.
I know.
So like dusty orange. Ugh,
I mean,
I'm
he came
obsessed.
in. My girlfriend's out of town right now, and he has been having a habit of coming in while she is in town and chewing her hair in the middle of the night. So we have to throw him out of the bed. But now she's out of town. I just got back, and he has decided to give me the same treatment. And so I had to throw him out of the bedroom last night, and then I woke up several hours later to him slamming into the bedroom door to try and get in so he can eat my hair.
Aww.
I know. You're such a little weirdo.
Did you use her shampoo?
I didn't even wash my hair yet since I've been back. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Edgar's such a little weirdo. Anyway, so superhero movies were not really a thing.
Yes.
By the way, and so if you're not catching up, and if you made the same mistake that I did this morning, X-Men Origins Wolverine is a 2009 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics fictional character Wolverine. Fourth installment of the X-Men film series, directed by Gavin Hood, written by David Benioff and Skip Woods. And by the way, this is Dave Benioff pre Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Produced by and stars Hugh Jackman. Also got Liev Schreiber, Danny Houston, Dominic Monaghan, Will.i.am in his feature film debut.
Yes.
And Ryan Reynolds. This movie it's got some potential.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it squanders it.
It's got the first appearance in a film of Gambit, which is like a beloved X-Men character.
Yeah.
And they fucked it up.
I know.
Do you bleep out fucks?
Oh, you can say all the fucks you want. I don't bleep shit fuck. So there's you're seeing this movie in the Calabasas, your first scouting trip to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Calabasas Regal.
I wanted to leave, like in the movie, and like this was before Lyft. Like I had to stick it out. I felt like I was trapped in Calabasas because I came with a car full of people and like no idea where I am. But
Why did you go all the way out to the one Calabasas just because your friend was there?
Because my friend worked there. He got us in for
got it
free.
for free.
And got us like free popcorn and all that. So we were like, hell yeah. And possibility of seeing a celebrity. And we were from Florida. We were like, all these things were, we did
comes
not see
together
a
now.
celebrity. There
None?
were no celebrities seen. It might have made it worth it at the time, but no.
Could you imagine if you had seen one of the celebrities who was in this movie, like if Liev Schreiber or Hugh Jackman had come into the theater and
Oh my
said,
God.
I release you from this tragedy. You may leave.
Do you think they felt that way? Do you think when they like did the movie and saw the cut, they were like, cool? Or were they like, great movie?
Well, here's what I think about it. Again, not a superhero movie person. To the point where I saw Logan in theaters with a bunch of comics at a comedy festival.
Oh, that's the one that I was thinking was good.
Logan, well, that's the good one.
Right, Logan's the good. You said the Wolverine, and I forgot that the Wolverine even
there's
existed.
a whole movie in between.
I forgot that.
And here's the crazy part. The Wolverine was supposed to be good because it was originally going to be directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Oh,
But this is post The Wrestler. This is pre-Noah. He was going to direct a Wolverine movie, and everybody was freaking the fuck out because everyone was like, holy shit, Darren Aronofsky is going to make a superhero movie? This sounds great. So, anyway, I saw Logan, and I remember just being like, all right, yeah, that was a movie. And everybody else who I was in the theater with was freaking the fuck out in the movie. And some people cried.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I don't understand this level of emotion that you guys have towards a comic book character, but good for you. And I think that is basically Hugh Jackman has enough money from doing the X-Men movies over the years that he can basically just like keep putting nickels in the slot machine and pull, and then eventually the nerd orgasm trio will line up of 3 sevens, and then cha-ching, hey, guess what? Everything's cool. I did it. I get to go out on top. I'm Hugh Jackman. I'll get to go out on top. That's Hugh Jackman.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Huh.
I finally made it. I made all these nerds cream their jeans and cry.
No, I'm going to do Broadway.
Yes, I'm going back to my roots and being Oklahoma. Now he's getting more native New Zealander. But anyway, so I think that is what happened. Like, this movie, I can't imagine the people who made it watching it and being like, I'm proud of this.
I don't know. I mean, why would you sign off on something you weren't proud of? I mean, I guess if there were like deadlines. And to be fair, I don't like, it's not like the movie is like The Room or anything where it's like so bad it's like culty. It's like bad in the sense of just like story, like the convoluted sort of storyline, these these multiple things sort of happening, and then these moments in the movie that are so just like unbelievable, rip your hair out. Like, why? Mm-hmm. Why would his main mission is to like deal with his brother. Right. Why the fuck did he stop to give you a fucking cheesy ass fucking claw middle finger? I was so mad in the movie theater. I think I went, what the fuck? I was just like, what?
Were you somebody who around the time that this movie came out were you very active on the internet at all?
No.
Okay. So I was. Oh. And I remember the sort of internet superhero du jour at the time was Deadpool.
Ah, yes.
Right. And so everybody was freaking out when they saw Deadpool was going to be in this movie. And then everybody consecutively freaked for the fuck out in a bad way when Deadpool was in this movie. And I hadn't, and that's, this is even more of a tip off that I didn't see it because I don't remember fucking seeing Deadpool in the movie that I saw. And I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, I can see why everybody was very upset with how Deadpool is portrayed.
Right. Because like very serious.
Serious. Doesn't seem to have any of the actual powers that Deadpool really has.
Right.
Based on my rudimentary knowledge of Deadpool. And totally wasting Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Totally wasting Ryan Reynolds.
Like like you could see this little clown underneath the exterior that was just like waiting to come out. I can't. Like,
everybody's too fucking serious in this movie.
Oh my god, so serious.
Will.i.am is serious. Will.i.am shouldn't be serious.
Also, why Gambit? Why would you do that? It was such a like wasted. It was like such like I don't know if it was like an attempt of like fan service or what.
I guess so. Gambit's played by Taylor Kitsch.
Oh, shoot.
From old Friday Night Lights.
Ah, yes.
And John Carter of Mars.
Was that, oh.
Another flop. Another bad movie.
I heard it was really good.
John Carter?
Somebody was like, yeah, it's a great movie.
I never saw it.
Me neither. Oh.
See, here's the thing. I think... I'm 100% with you on this movie not being like atrocious, but it just being a huge misfire.
Yeah.
I think that the convoluted nature of the story is the worst part of this movie. You don't need to have all of these different story elements popping up. I don't give a shit about 90% of what happens character to character in this movie. I really, at the heart of it, the movie is about the relationship between Logan and Sabretooth.
Right.
And
oh my god, how great would it have been if they had just like stuck to that and made it this like emotional film about two brothers with superpowers. Like, and they're like, oh my god, there's so much they could have done with that.
Right. I don't care about how Wolverine got his adamantium skeleton. I don't care about that.
I mean, it is interesting.
It's interesting, but it's like it's not something that you have to devote an entire 20 to 30 minutes of the movie to do it, to showing how it happened.
That's fair. That's very fair. I
Right?
agree with that.
Make that a montage.
Right?
Montage the shit out of that sequence.
Hell yeah. It's like, we all get it. Oh, government done fucked me over. Like, all right, you get it.
Yeah. He hates the government as much as the next guy. He says it right away when they're logging. I was fucking government. He doesn't say fucking because this is not Logan, the actually good
The actually
version.
good one, yeah.
But yeah, this is it's one of these movies. It's so. I remember this movie coming out, and there's such a pedigree to the way Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine. Like, no, Hugh Jackman kind of rises above all of the bad parts of this movie.
Yes.
Because he's a good fucking actor.
Yeah.
He's good.
Trying to think of like other movies recently where like all of their parts were really good and the rest of the movie was
it's hard to think. It's superhero movies already. I'm already on my heels about, because especially I think that this movie does the superhero-iest of superhero movie tropes, which is making fight scenes that are bombastic and have a lot of big explosions and shit boring.
Oh, yeah. It's like, how do you do
I
that?
don't know how they do that.
How, like,
It just doesn't. It's like it's not interesting to watch.
yeah.
It's all just brown, and there's some people poofing around, and there's an explosion every once in a while. But like, I'm not watching this glued to the TV screen, being like, "Oh my god, this is great."
What's happening? Like, yeah, it's not like a good fight sequence has to tell a story in the same way that the actual plot tells a story. You know, like you need to be able to like see all of these elements. But if it's just like, whoa, you know,
Right.
like a big old turd on the screen,
That's how it looked. It looked
diarrhea
like a big old diarrhea fight. Big old turd.
oh man.
By the way, I would rather watch a real diarrhea fight that sounds like a fun plot point in a Deadpool movie.
It's not even like, you know, like some things will have where they like they're intentionally want it to be sort of a diarrhea fight to make it feel distorted. Like the Game of Thrones, you know.
The dark scene.
The dark
Yes.
scene where they were like intentionally like, oh, we want this to feel like this.
The Don't Wake Daddy crossover that we were all waiting for in Game of Thrones. Don't wake the Night King. Oh, man. I think that's how that jingle went. I watched a lot of children's commercials growing up because I was a child, and that was the target audience.
Oh man. Remember when they weren't allowed to like have ads or something during like the cartoon block or something?
I remember that on Radio Disney they didn't have a lot of ads. That was all I was allowed to watch and listen to for a long time was Radio Disney.
Really?
Yeah. One time, oh my God. Yeah, because I couldn't listen to radio. I was I was a very sheltered young man. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the church. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything that was, like PG-13 movies until I was 13. Couldn't watch them. R-rated movies until I was 17. Couldn't watch them unless I got a parental like check of approval.
Oh wow.
I didn't start listening to any true music besides basically like Christian rock and Radio Disney. And the one time my parents got me a Schoolhouse Rock cover album
Oh my gosh.
for Christmas, I got all of that.
That's amazing.
By the way, I look back on that now and I'm like, that's a fucking cool gift. But at the time, I remember telling people, like kids in the neighborhood, I was like, I got this album of rock music. And they're like, what is it? And I was like, it's Schoolhouse Rock, but it's cover songs. And they're like, that's stupid. And in my head, I was just like, I guess it's stupid. But now I'm like, I want that. I want that CD back. That's a great find.
Right. Like, who was on that album?
I know Ween was on that album.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to look it up. I bet I can probably find it.
Oh, man. Gosh, that's like... So then, like, when you did start getting to discover, like, you know, R-rated things, were you like, I'm all in? Or were you like, it's still scary?
Yeah. I mean, I was very... Once I started to be able to like watch some of this stuff, I was like, "Oh, this is what I've been missing out on." But there's also parts where I was like,
Was I missing out?
Was I? Here's some of the bands that are on here: Blind Melon. They did 3 as a magic number.
That's awesome.
The band Better Than Ezra did Conjunction Junction. Pavement did No More Kings.
I don't remember Pavement.
The Shot Heard Around the World was done by Ween. We have... oh my God. We have Gibby Haynes from Butthole Surfers did a song, My Hero Zero. Biz Markie did The Energy Blues. Moby did Verb, That's What's Happening. Daniel Johnston, famously schizophrenic, mentally unstable and mentally ill musician, did Unpack Your Adjectives. And Skilo did The
Oh my
Tale of
gosh.
Mr. Morton. Yeah.
Skilo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now this is
That's
what,
pretty cool. Like a little way to bridge the gap.
yeah.
You know, it didn't bridge the gap.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's so many other, like, okay, Gambit is obviously such a huge misstep in this movie.
Yes.
I think the idea of bringing in Gambit is not a bad one, but I do think that the way it's done in this movie is bad.
It's bad.
I thought I was going to have a burp just now, but I didn't.
It's okay. Feel free.
A little behind the magic there for you kids at home. Yeah, this movie. I remember. How did you feel? So after the movie, and you have this whole feeling of wanting to leave. Did your friends that you were with like the movie? Did you talk to them afterwards and be like, and were you guys commiserating?
I'm gonna be honest. I think I was the most angry. Like, this is weird. I don't care about movies. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care about like stuff. I'm sort of like, okay, cool. Like, that gave people jobs. Like, I'm happy for them. Like, I don't try, but I don't viscerally. I like hated this movie, and I don't know if it's because like I like Wolverine as a character. He seems like a fun uncle, you know, like a fun
kinda.
grumpy uncle.
He does. I feel like if Wolverine could have a pot belly and shotgun beers with you.
Oh yeah, and I feel like the only uncle-y thing that he did in this film is the fucking adamantium claw. That was such a fucking like stupid that middle finger.
Right.
Oh, I hated it so much. like I think that's what gets me the most. It's just like that middle finger. Because he like wastes time. Why is he wasting time? I'm sorry, I keep going back to this.
No, but there's a lot of
that was,
time
like,
that's
the
wasted in
moment.
the movie. You're right. There's so much of this movie that I don't. It didn't. If they had just focused honestly on just Liev Schreiber and Hugh Jackman, this would be a completely different movie.
So what do we think? Do we think that like, where do we think that they went wrong? Do you think it was in the writing?
I don't know, because this is the thing. It's like,
I feel like there's a lot of people who would be like, yeah, David Benioff, it is in the writing.
Right.
They're mad at him.
well, that's the thing. I'm not enough of a comic book guy to know how much of the source material, as far as the stuff with Logan and Wolverine, is accurate or not. I have no basis for that.
Right.
I know that the Deadpool stuff isn't accurate because I've seen the Deadpool movies, and they've literally done parts of those movies where they talk about how bad his portrayal is in this movie.
Which is awesome. I love that they call it out.
There's all kinds of stuff. All right, here we go. Now we're looking into development. This is the problem, is they got David Benioff, who is just a guy who liked to write, who was a comic book fan, and they got the guy who wrote Hitman. You know, that classic movie based off a video game that nobody cared about.
Hitman. Is that the one with Jason Statham? Is he in that?
In Hitman?
Oh.
No, I think it's it's Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, I'm way off.
You might be thinking of The Transporter,
That's the one.
in which he plays a hitman. Maybe.
Oh, right.
I probably. I feel like Jason Statham
isn't he playing a transporter?
That's true. Transporting bodies to the grave.
Oh,
I don't know. I've never seen The Transporter.
Me neither.
But
It seems.
what about if Hugh Grant was the transporter?
Oh, Ooh,
I'd like to
I dropped my gun.
I'm so sorry. I've dropped this car keys.
Like does the like thing on like the punches and the throat, and then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry.
I don't think. I think that the writing is a big part of the problem.
Yeah.
Here. I think that the getting a guy. This is before superhero movies. The original plan was they wanted to write David Benioff wanted to write an R rating in mind. That was his goal.
A what?
With an R rating.
Okay.
The way Logan had. Logan had an R rating. And then they wanted to make Gambit a loose cannon. And then they wanted to put Deadpool in there too because they're like, hey, we got all these people. Let's throw them all in. Let's see what happens. And then the writer's strike happened.
Oh.
And so they were sitting there. They had the script that had gone through a couple, like 4 or 5 different rewrites. And then the writer's strike happened. And then, whoops, we can't fix it. We can't fix this script.
Oh my gosh.
And then they hire Gavin Hood, who's an Oscar-winning director. And they're like, this is going to be your first English language movie.
Oh my gosh.
And things go awry. I think the writing is the biggest.
Oh, right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, this guy.
I'm just welling up with sadness about how this movie
like
went.
I feel so bad for this director, right? Like he's so, like I'm sure he was so excited, like getting to like direct this big film, the first like English speaking film he's directing, and then he hasn't done like anything since. A little I think a French TV show.
Gavin Hood is really, that's a shame because Gavin Hood is a gifted director. Clearly, I mean he won an Oscar for Tsotsi. But that's the thing, he's got he did Ender's Game.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of someone else.
Who are you thinking of?
Oh, I don't even know.
I don't know what's going on. But anyway, it doesn't change the fact that this movie is still bad. Here's how little they trusted Gavin Hood during this making of this movie. He wanted to say, hey, let's have Wolverine be depicted as, since he's an army veteran, let's have him be depicted as a guy who's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, that's...
Give him a little PTSD. That's a unique character trait.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a representation in film.
And Fox said, nah, that's too heavy.
Ah.
Let's just go with him. Let's just go with the fact that his girlfriend got murdered. And also, this man has bones coming out of his hands that are sharp. This man with the sharp bones, he can't have PTSD. That's too weird.
That's so ridiculous. Like, duh. Could you imagine having bones coming out of your hands? I feel like you'd have PTSD. You'd constantly be like, keep these bones down.
If you killed your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Imagine how sad you would be. Constantly. And that's even before you get into the military. That's when you're a child. And then your brother's like, listen, you killed our dad, but we're brothers and we're in it together. And I'm going to keep your bones safe and you keep my nails safe. And everything's going to be okay.
That would have been such a nice movie.
It would have been.
Yeah.
They were ready to hire Richard Donner instead. They were ready to hire other directors, and then Richard Donner came in and he was like, listen, guys, this is not that big of a fucking deal. This is just a dumb superhero movie. Let's let it be a dumb superhero movie. And then Fox was like, okay. And Gavin Hood was like, okay. And that's what happened. And we got a really fucking dumb superhero movie. That's where we all went wrong.
I feel like the lesson here to learn is that, like, you can have things, I feel like you can have things be dumb while saying something, while being intelligent.
Yeah, you can do dumb smart.
Yes. And I feel like dumb people don't get that.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so many dumb people who are, sorry, dumb people are film executives, a bunch of them, or at least they used to be. Maybe it's getting better now.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I've never met a film executive. And if there are any listening to this podcast, you're smart. You is smart. You is kind. You is talented. But the people who made this movie, clearly.
Well,
it's just like, I don't understand the decision making that led to this being the thing that gets put out. I don't feel like and I feel like you probably agree with me on this, and you might not, in which case disagree. But I think that for the most part, film executives are not putting out a movie, and directors and writers and all the people who are involved with the making of a movie. People don't make a movie and think that they're putting out something bad.
Right.
Everybody goes in with their best intentions.
Right.
And I think that David Benioff, comic book fan, had something in mind that, frankly, is ahead of his time. If he wanted to write a dark, R-rated superhero movie, which really didn't exist prior to, their Blade had been out.
And getting to see this character that you had seen in these other films, where the films were a lot like lighter and more innocent. You know, there was the other X-Men films had they weren't terribly dark.
Right.
And so it would have been nice to have seen that. And I think that's what, going into it, we expected was we're going to see this really the real side of Logan. And we didn't get that.
We didn't get that. And now you sound really sad.
It makes me sad. It's okay. But like you said, we got it eventually with Logan.
Right.
The movie.
Academy Award nominated for Best Screenplay.
Pretty amazing.
That's how well they've pulled it off. I can imagine, there's an alternate world where this movie and all of the other X-Men movies stars a different Hugh, and this one got nominated for an Oscar because they got it right on the first try. They didn't have to take 3 different cracks at it.
Right. That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So how did other people feel? Other people were pretty upset about it too.
Yes, it got mixed reviews. There were multiple secret endings to the movie, by the way, and they differ from film to film. This movie it wasn't nominated for any kind of big what's the word, the Razzie Awards. It wasn't nominated for any of those, but it didn't do so hot. It got 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. A 40 on Metacritic. And our boy Richard Corliss of Time Magazine said, it's okay. He literally says that it's okay. Which I think is, Roger Ebert too. 2 stars out of 4, which is the Roger Ebert version of saying it's okay. And asks about the title character, why should I care about this guy? He feels no pain and nothing can kill him, so essentially it's a story device for action sequences.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Accurate.
And this one too. This is, by the way, this is the best review that I've seen so far. This is Bill Gibron of filmcritic.com, owned by AMC. Gave the film 4 out of 5 stars. Says that Hugh Jackman is capable of carrying even the most mediocre effort. He single-handedly makes X-Men Origins Wolverine an excellent start to the summer 2019 season. This movie is carried by Hugh Jackman, the fucking professional to beat all professionals. And he's so good in this movie that everybody else who's this movie's pretty bad. But Hugh Jackman, he can get it.
What a talent. What a delight.
He is a delight.
He can sing. He can dance.
Mm-hmm.
He can act. He can fight.
He really
can. He has
can.
adamantium claws. I'm assuming they put real adamantium claws in him.
Chef kiss to Hugh Jackman. I hope they did.
A chef kiss to him.
If he is the kind of actor I believe that he is, they definitely gave him the real adamantium claws.
Yeah, he
does all his own stunts. He was him under the bath.
Adamantium's not a real element, is it?
No, it's like unobtainium or vibranium.
Oh, okay.
It's all fake. Fake elements.
What? These movies are fake?
I know, right? There's no such thing as a guy who can make metal appear out of his hands. His metal bones that are covered in metal.
Yes.
I can't get it. I have to get it right for all the fanboys out there who are going to yell at this podcast.
I know. I feel I do feel there's always like a sense of like trepidation going into talking about any sort of nerd related thing where I'm like, look, I'm gonna be honest, details not my forte. But I remember little things like how much that middle finger adamantium claw made me angry.
And that's what I would like to give to this movie at the end of the day is one big adamantium claw middle finger.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you fucking dweebs.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Nikki, if there are any nerds out there who want to come at you and argue or agree with you and say, you know what, I don't care that you don't know a whole lot about this movie franchise. You're right. I agree with you. They botched it.
Yeah, and it is all based off that one moment.
Where can they hit you up on the social medias?
I'm on Twitter at tweets@toilets.
It's a good Twitter handle.
Thank you. It's usually where I'm tweeting from, so it made sense. I'm usually like, all right, time to go to the bathroom and tweet. Or Instagram at Urban Nicky.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've got, of course, if anyone's in LA, some wonderful shows at the Pack Theater that people should check out.
At the Pack Theater, I'm the host of the Nicky Urban Show. It's a late night kids show for adults. And that's the fourth Friday. I was like, wait, counting. Fourth Friday of the month at the Pack Theater. And then Fembot PhD, it's a sketch team. We do an hour-long show the first Sundays of the month. An amazing show, an amazing team. I have not seen the hour version of it, but I remember when you guys were doing the half-hour slot still, and it was my favorite. I was blown away. It was my favorite sketch team at the Pack. Oh, and there's a lot of really good sketch teams at the Pack. Yeah, they're very good. If you're in LA, go check out Fembot. Yes, for sure. Please do. Also, perhaps you might see us on America's Got Talent as well. Perhaps. Oh, just like. Oh my God. Well, I might perhaps be on there too. I don't know yet. We'll find out. I might not talk about that so much if it happens. Yeah, that's we'll fair. Find out. It's gonna be like really an Easter egg. Yeah. I'm like, good times. I will be talking about it a lot though from mine. You should. Because it's silly. I mean. Also, we got to. Terry Crews. Terry Crews shook my hand and then told me that I need to get hand sanitizer afterwards, and he gave me an elbow bump because I did a gross thing on America's Got Talent. And I still stand by, and I think that bit is funny, and I hope that it makes the air. I do. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. You can find me on the internet at Diet J. If you like this podcast, tell a friend. And guess what? We also have brand spanking new, I talked about it at the very beginning of the show, a Facebook group that you should join. The info for that is right at the top of the show notes. So join up and we can talk more about some blockbusting and some movie stuff. Yeah, maybe you can say what you hate about X-Men Origins Wolverine. I like the sound of that. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. And that, folks, is another episode of Blockbusting. Nikki, thank you so much. Thank you. Yay. This has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.